Does Dan Bilzerian's life seem too good to be true? Well, that's because it is.
Who are you looking for?
Dan Bilzerian.
He doesn't live here anymore.
He's been caught several times, so much so that at this point it's enough to assume everything he does for the gram is fake. The women, the wealth, the mansions, the company, his poker career, the white t-shirts and short shorts. No, not the shorts. Those are real, I fear. But let me explain why everything about him is literally faked for the gram, starting with his wealth. You see, the thing about it is that it really ain't his wealth. Whose wealth is it? We can't say for sure. But I'll just have you know that when Dan and his brother were very little, their dad, Paul Bilzerian, had already set up a trust fund for them. This trust fund was filled with money that Paul had gotten manipulating the stock market and investing in. The corporate raider, as the practice is called, now lives far from the clutches of the United States government in the little island of St. Kitts, while his kid allegedly pulls himself up by the trust fund in the US. Must be tough, especially with all those women wanting to be around him. But wait, did you know he allegedly pays those women to be there with him all the time? I know, it's quite sad, but on the bright side, he's got them wearing his merch, so he's making money, right? He is making money, right? If you said wrong, you're right. Somehow, good old Dan Bilzerian, the Giga Chad whose life is perfect and even has books on his success, isn't making any money from this Ignite company whose logo he has slapped on everything. Bikinis and vodka bottles, bowling balls, military-grade equipment, and so on. As a matter of fact, the ex-president of the company, Curtis Hefferman, filed a lawsuit against the company because of what he described as refusing to approve his boss's extravagant expenditures which he claims were funded by the company. This includes things like a $15,000 ping pong table, a $40,000 rock climbing wall, a $130,000 photo shoot, and God knows how much on his beloved white t-shirt and bottom shorts outfit. I mean, can the man put on some pants? But the most outrageous expenditure of them all was the LA home lease that cost $200,000 each month. To add salt to injury, Mr. Bilzerian held some truly extravagant parties in this mansion with the biggest celebrities and scantily clad women that sometimes involve someone flying onto the roof of the building in a parachute with sparklers. But seeing as he was running his company into some serious debt, Dan Bilzerian had to exit the mansion, much to the joy of his neighbors who had already been planning a lawsuit against him.
Who are you looking for?
Dan Bilzerian.
He doesn't live here anymore.
The company auditors also disclosed that they found that large chunks of the company's money was being spent on unusually large personal expenses. Remember Dan Bilzerian's Instagram posts on a yacht? Well, the company paid about $800,000 for that. And what about his vacations? Well, the auditors found that on one of those vacations to London, the company had spent $128,000 on the stay, including things like Instacart deliveries of razors, trash bags, and laundry detergent. By 2020, Dan Bilzerian had set Ignite on fire with about $69 million in debt, with many claiming that the company wasn't actually making any sales. But how come he's still able to spend so much, you ask? 3 words: trust fund baby. Bilzerian claims that he made his $50 million of wealth playing poker, which is crazy because, you know, he sucks at poker based on opinions of experts. And maybe also the fact that the official lists show that most of the best poker players ever never had that amount with all their cash prizes. The truth of the self-proclaimed king of Instagram is plain to see, but it's interesting to see how long he can keep it up.